Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. I noticed in the last episode, if you watched all the way to the end, I accidentally muted myself for the last couple minutes. I muted myself on purpose because I was coughing, but then I tried to unmute and I guess it didn't work. I mean, I don't know, good news though, we weren't doing anything interesting, we were just hanging out in the Black Lab. So, and it's been, I don't know, several hours since that episode went up and nobody mentioned it, so I have reason to believe nobody ever watches those Black Lab segments to the end. Alright, let's watch Coffee versus Alex Frog, two highly rated players. Just starting a game, in fact. Does that mean 307th is in queue? I saw 307th was playing Coffee a moment ago. I'm a little surprised we're not getting matched in that case. Maybe we don't share, we don't have any queue settings overlap? I don't think that's true though, because he matches with M-Sven, who plays basically the same stuff I do. That's not true. M-Sven plays base plus 8, 45 seconds, which is a little bit too fast for me. Anyway, but we did get a match with Dark Angel. Base plus 8, 60 seconds. All the colors look pretty good here. The least appealing is blue. Obviously, like Lance Tooth is not that amazing, but yeah, and you might not have enough econ for it. I feel like this is more of like these things. Red-green seems good. And Mobile Animus is probably a good way to get started with red-green, with a bit less of a commitment. I mean, the smaller commitment would be DDC on turn 2, but if you can go DD1, you can get going a little bit faster and still have time to add in a conduit later when you actually want it. I mean, on the other hand, DA is probably fine, and like you can just get an ossified drone and then you have access to 1 or 2 red whenever you want. I kind of like that idea. Yeah. That's a pretty reasonable player 1 play. I think I want a whole Animus, and I'll just ossify, like, immediately, probably. Ossified is not going to work well with Proto, but I can just, like, at that point not ossify anymore once I'm ready for Protos, right? Next turn is something like T3, leaving me $5 for conduit. T3C? Maybe 2-3C? Probably T. Yeah. Okay. I don't think opponent's opening Grimbotch. Wow, you are. Okay. Ooh, that's spicy. Nice. I like that. But maybe they're not gonna do it. I like that as a way to get your first 2 attack and then like just be blue, but I don't know. I think it's just too fancy. I don't think it's actually that great. Right? Because, like, red is actually the color you want here. Pivoting into blue is cute, but I think ultimately not that great. And I don't know why they would get a botch here. I guess they're planning to build a wall. Oh, or hold their botch as a defender while they build Lance Tooth. Sure. The Lance Tooth should honestly not be all that great against me, right? Maybe this should be a botch. They'll have access to blue. I don't think it's that amazing. I mean, they don't want to use their blue, but they do want to hold something back, and so I might as well just not attack. Yeah. A second blue for wall Lance Tooth, I guess? Let's see. When... Next turn, I won't want to build a proto. Sorry, this turn I don't want to build a proto. But next turn I might get away with it. And the thing is then, that proto will be going into a Grimbotch tempo turn, and so attacking with it won't be good. So I don't exactly want more attackers to go with that. I'm not sure. Like, what to do? What to do? I could, like, just not build more attackers right now, but that doesn't seem so great when opponent's about to have a bunch, right? Yeah. I mean, this Rhino is, like, kind of sucking, though. I don't know. I mean, he can just wait around. He'll be good eventually. Now they kind of, yeah. I don't want to convert a Tarsier to a botch just to make a Rhino good sooner. I don't think. I don't like that No, I'm not going to lose the 2 NGs because they're going to Lance Tooth me again. Okay. Alright, they don't even want the wall because I'm not really attacking. Fine. Ah, but good news. I can actually click the Rhino now. He'll do some damage. On the other hand, opponent's only going to have like 3-ish damage next turn, since they're holding this back. So a Proto still won't be any good, because they can just Lance Tooth it. But I think it is time to add a botch. Like, by the way, the most they threaten next turn is 5. And even if I attack with Rhino, I have 5 defense available because these Ossifieds are vigilant. So I can do this, right? And then I can throw in a botch. But I don't want to, because they have this Grimbotch timing out, right? So I don't want more... Whoops. I kind of want to click this, though, don't I? Maybe not. Maybe just get more NGs to replace this. I don't think I need a second conduit yet. I can get that later. Actually, I already have 3 damage next turn. They're only going to be absorbing 4-ish when they hold botch. You know, botch and wall. Like, a candidate turn for them is click Lance Tooth. Well, they're holding botch. Are they clicking Lance Tooth? Or are they holding it and like clicking botch Rhino? I think they click it by wall to absorb. Yeah, so I think I don't actually want any more fast attack. I think I just want this. I think they're going to try to be clever and Lance Tooth me again. Shouldn't you hold this botch? I don't get it. Okay, if you hold Lance Tooth, you don't need to hold botch, I guess. Alright, and now's the turn when I want Protos, I think. Because they're suddenly out of Grimbotch defense tempo. And I can afford to click Rhino because it's still killing an engineer, which is the most you can ever ask for from a Rhino click. I'll throw in a Conduit probably and the rest NGs. I don't need them just yet. It's like, really, what's opponent attacking for? Like 1, 5, 6. I'm losing these 3. I could afford drones, maybe. Or a mobile animus to click my ossified drones. There's an idea. Next turn, get that second Conduit. Oh, I guess you can still Lance Tooth this, huh? Yeah, I forgot. I was thinking too much about how much they would be defending and not enough about how much they would be attacking. Oh well, this Proto will just have to sit around for a while, I guess. He'll be fine. Honestly, like... Give me another one? Right? Let's do this. I don't want too many Grimbotches all lining up. Yeah, how about that? Is there some way they can make this Fibroid bad? I don't think so. Like, they have to click at least 3 of these, and that's attacking for 6. They Lance Tooth once, that's still 4. This seems okay. But maybe not great. Maybe it should just be a Rhino. No, that's bad. It would be a botch would be better than that. Five, 6, 7, 11? It seems like an okay amount to threaten. I don't know. Maybe I'll do this. Keep the Grimbotch train a little bit more comfortable. I was a little worried if I built Fibroid, they could try to deny it value by like holding a Lance Tooth and building a Lance Tooth and holding all the pixies or something. This does not seem very good to me. It denies me a tiny bit of value on Proto, but I could choose to just keep this Proto around, right? If I want. Lose 1 NG to keep the full health Proto and allow me to spend more red on attacking. Like, this absorb denial is a little bit fake. And I'm okay with that. I really need a second conduit pretty soon. But they've been taking it easy on me. Or going easy on me, I guess is the closer idiom. Sure, I might want to go back and lose an Os fight instead, but... Yeah, since they have pixies, I should do that. So I can't actually afford... Well, they're losing a little attack here, right? They're losing at least one attack. So I don't have to do this. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Because it spends more of my green, which is a little bit troublesome. But I think I do want this. Just go in for an overwhelming alpha strike here. Basically. 7, 10, 14, 15-ish. Actually, it threatens 17. But this one rhino can't attack. And if they hold the tooth, then everything can actually attack. Or if they, yeah. I think I'm reaching for a lot here. So this defends, but is it necessary? Can they really click everything and live? I mean, they couldn't click everything last turn and live, but... I mean, say they come at me for the full 8. I breach for 7, 8... Well, I don't breach for 8. I attack for 8, 12... 7, 5... Okay, I don't know. Let's try this. I think they could actually click everything. So I need to do this to keep the proto alive. So let's say they attack for 4. They deny me some absorb, but this is fine. I'm in an okay spot here. I don't think I need to worry about that. Like, if they attack for everything, I get in for, I don't know, a lot-ish. I don't think it's worth holding a drone. Although, I mean, I could hold drone by botch instead. Like, is that better? Alright. Cool. A win. So, opponent had an interesting transition plan with their mobile animus into blue stuff. And I think that would have been correct if Proto weren't in the set. Maybe Fibroid is enough to make it still good to keep your red, but probably not. I think this was a really cool way to get a couple Lance Teeth going. But that you actually like still want you still want a bunch of red, so I don't like the decision to sell it back. I also think opponent made some questionable tactical decisions. Well, I mean, you could argue that it was more strategic. Like, I think they built Lance Tooths for too long. This one here may be fine. Maybe. But after that, I think they were pretty bad. The value they were getting from holding Lance-Tooth and, like, and denying Absorb, as I talked about, is sort of, like, minimal. Right? They could have been forcing me to build more protos if they'd clicked more. But instead, they allowed me to use this one proto I built a long time ago as my defender and continue accumulating more attackers. And I think Tarsiers and Botches are just going to beat Lance-Tooths in terms of, like, amount of attack generated, like, in isolation. Lance-Tooths are good when you have attack that you can't otherwise make use of. Here, I think my opponent could have made use of their attack by forcing me to build more protoplasms instead of more attackers. More permanent attackers. So, I don't know. I never did get that second conduit in. I feel like at the end there it was really dangerous. And it could have been a lot safer if I'd played more carefully. I think that probably this Gauss Cannon was the mistake. It cost a lot. Both money and also a green. If I'd built another Gauss Cannon, then... Or if I'd built another conduit, you know, okay, sure, I'd have 5 green this turn, but since I spent 3, that seems pretty reasonable. And then I maybe wouldn't have wanted to click this, the Mobile Animus, maybe? I might have wanted to continue building Proto-Fibroid every turn or something like that. I'm not sure. So let's just look at the end here and make sure that they were in fact losing. I mean, say they go in for everything. Build all the walls they can, hold 2 drones. I don't breach for much. In fact, I don't even kill a single Lance-Tooth this way. That's a little scary. But I get that. Why did it make a pixie noise just then? Interesting. The Oxide Mixer makes its noise even on the turn that it runs out of lifespan. I didn't know that. And it makes a pixie noise, but doesn't make a pixie. That's weird. Okay, maybe report a bug on that one. Anyway, say they continue going in and buying walls and stuff. This is finally, I think, enough. Yeah. Now I just need to build NG every turn, and that's easy. Okay. I can even get back to droning if I want. So definitely some areas for improvement here for me, like just recognizing how much harder it was about to be to defend, I think, is what I should have done. What would have helped me realize I don't want this Gauss Cannon is, like, opponent kind of finally has to start actually attacking. And, well, I mean, on the other hand, this Gauss Cannon killed a Rhino, right? Didn't it? That's kind of great. They would have been attacking for more if I didn't have it. Also, maybe this Tarsier was... Yeah, I mean... I think this Tarsier was too many. I spent a lot of time on this turn, as I recall, trying to figure out how to mix in my, like, attackers, Aussie clicks, and so on, and, like, whether I want 2 Grim Botches or what. I think this Tarsier was relatively okay. But this one, I think I should have just grabbed 2 botches. The pressure is really about to turn up for both of us. And 1 extra turn's worth of damage matters a lot, as does the ability to soak with this. So I think this was probably an error. In fact, what if I hadn't got any such thing and threw in another conduit? Huh? I get more ossifieds for defense, which is really valuable. And I have this extra conduit that I wanted. It says they're going to breach, but they're not because... Oh. This is not the turn. I see. This is not the turn where they lost a rhino. Okay, well, let's look at that turn again then. Or let's look at the turn after that one. I think now the Tarsier was maybe fine. Although another botch probably also would have been great. And here, right? Yeah, this one's my turn. So say I did this. No, that's the same turn. Okay. Man. The turn when I bought my last Tarsier, which is here, right? Yeah, they just attacked. Okay, and no, this isn't the turn I built my last Tarsier. This is a very confusing game. I see. So yeah, the issue was when I built the Gauss cannon, they were not guaranteed to lose any defense, and so clicking ossified would be pretty dangerous. But I think it is sort of fine if I just throw in a force field. And I can maybe do like this. Instead of the Gauss cannon, get this, and also instead of the Tarsier, click an ossified drone. Now they go in with most of their stuff. Why do I feel like they lost this rhino or something in the game? I don't know. Anyway, let's suppose this is their turn since it looks pretty reasonable. Did they actually attack? Oh, no, I remember. They held the rhino and clicked the lance tooth or something? Because I remember I had to lose... Oh, no. The reason I had to lose Aussie is because I hadn't built a force field. Now that I built force field, it makes sense that... Like, but I thought they attacked for 11. My question is, where did that 11 come from? It comes from holding back Rhino, but why did they do that? In this position, it makes no sense to hold back Rhino, so I'm not sure. But this is a turn that looks reasonable for them, right? Anyway, I get this Proto. And... I can actually throw out a Fibroid here. Oh, it's because in that turn, in the other game, I had clicked my Mobile Animus on that turn, maybe? I don't know. Something like that. And now it's like pretty difficult here, right? I don't know. And I threaten all of this. I don't have to lose anything against this attack, so I don't know. I think that would have been a pretty cool way to get that second conduit that sort of assures my future. Lets me get Proto Force Field for a while and then just Proto. And the Tarsier was not much of an asset compared to other things I could have bought with the same money. Either a conduit or a botch. You know, I mean, on the other hand, I have a lot less permanent attack this way. I cut a conduit or a Gauss cannon and a Tarsier in this line. So I don't know. But in exchange, I'm getting more Fibroids. It seems like it might be better, but I'm not really gonna figure it out. Okay, and so something else that I just wanted to cover briefly before we go is we talked a couple episodes ago about What's the best way about ways units that are like times when you can think of one unit as being like a better version of some other unit. So I struggled to come up with good examples during that video, but there's one that I wanted. No, what? Custom? I don't know. I guess I have to say custom. So everything get out of here, and let's just look at base plus barrier. Is there anything else great in here that like covers what I'm thinking of? We sort of talked about urban, so let's put that in just in case, you know, as a visual aid. Thorium. Not really, I guess. Well, alright. This'll do, I guess. And we'll just play against Masterbot here for a moment. And what I wanted to talk about is how barrier is, in many situations, a better force field. It looks worse because it's the same cost, you know. Of course, it costs a drone. Force field does. So that's a big downside. But is a drone really worth 1 extra health, you might ask? Maybe. But maybe barrier is a better way to get 1 health, and then like you can buy another barrier for the 2nd health or something, you might think. So I'm going to wait for Masterbot to build some attackers, and then we'll get to a position where, let's imagine we can only defend with green. We don't have any walls left or something. Yeah, let's in fact just do that now. I'll pretend I don't have urbans. And I'll just let Masterbot come at me. I assume you build a 2nd splitter here. Please tell me that's your plan. No. What a guy, huh? Okay, fine. Well, hit me again then, please. I guess I should have been building more conduits. Whatever. Okay, here we are. So, let's say I only have green to defend with. And I need to avoid getting breached. I mean, in fact, it would maybe have been better to have put a wall on the table first. But actually, this is sort of perfect, right? No, it's not. Well, I mean, sure. Let's say I have a wall on the table and opponent's attacking for 3. And I want to prevent getting that wall breached. Here, it's very obvious that barrier is better, right? Because I would be exploited if I built a force field, right? This force field says 2, but really it has 1 health. Because opponent's about to attack it. Make me lose force field onto wall, absorbing only 1. So here, barrier's clearly better. Here, we'll just build all the conduits. So we'll do that. That seems like a pretty clear one that anybody would find. Good. Masterbot's attacking for 4 now. That's exactly what I wanted to show. Now, here's an example where a force field seems very clear, right? We build a force field, and we lose the 2 damage. I mean, Masterbot will hold Steel Splitter because why not? But assuming that holding the Steel Splitter is not particularly beneficial to him, as in most cases it wouldn't be, then this force field is perfectly fine value. And so you might ask, actually, you know, God, I want to do this in analysis mode because I keep like wanting to back up and change how things look. Suppose that I already have an engineer defending here, right? Pretend this drone's an engineer. Now I could defend with force field if I want, if I had force field available. And And that's fine. And it seems pretty normal, and that's what you would do without barrier in supply. And so the question is barrier better or worse? With your barrier, you lose the NG, right? But you get to keep the drone for a little while. But it's harder to turn the, it's harder. You're spending 1 green for 1 health instead of 1 green for 2 health. So it feels like you'll maybe run out of green more quickly if you play this way. However, this is actually not the case. A barrier is just a better play here. Unless opponent can find some way to exploit it so that it doesn't get value, which here he can't. The barrier is just better than force field. Why is that? Well, the barrier costs you 1 and a green and gives you 1 health. And you get to keep the drone that would have been a force field. And then, if you want, next turn, you can hold that drone to get another health out of it. And you've paid the same total cost. 1 and a green and a drone. You've gained a health this turn and a health next turn. So it's slower. You can't do that if you need 2 health this turn. But if 1 health this turn is enough, then you can always get the 2nd health just by holding the drone if that's what you want. And maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you have other options that seem better, like building another barrier or something, right? So in a situation where barrier is enough to defend, and you're sure that barrier won't get exploited, then barrier is just strictly better than force field. I hesitate to say strictly better, but I think I got those first 2 conditions right. Barrier's enough to defend, and barrier won't get exploited. Then barrier is better than force field. Now this doesn't really cover questions like here, right? Is 2 barriers better than 1 force field? Depends. That changes the amount of green that you're spending and the amount of gold that you're spending. And if you want to sell drones, this is a good way to do it. But if you want to keep your drones and you need to get rid of your green, if you have like a surplus of green and not a surplus of drones, you would consider barriers probably as the better play. But if you have a small amount of green, then like force fields are probably the better play. Or if you have more drones than you need for some reason, right? That tends to happen in the late game, is you'll do anything to turn your drones into more tempo so you can drag things out longer. Anyway, so I wanted to revisit that theme I was talking about the other day, of finding a play that's strictly better than the one you had in mind. And barrier has that kind of relationship with force field in many situations. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Just this little revisiting here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.